And we are now live. What's up, everybody? Out there in the Grow 2 and Grow America.
What up, everybody?
Trichomechasers live. Episode 49, that Grow Life. You guys hear me out there in the chat? What's up?
What's going on, fellas?
All right.
How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
So tonight we got on, let's see, tonight's panel. My man Photon Phantom. Nuevo Purple Super Mids. Northside Doja. Dirty Daniel D. And we have Captain Kindbud.
Purple stepped in the house too.
Super Biz, I really like that one.
Yes, sir. Purple.
Super Mids. Purple. Super Mids.
Super Biz.
Right.
I'm gonna trademark that right now.
That's what's up. So let's start off Photon. What you got going on, buddy? What you got going on in the garden or in your life? Your life, man. What you got going
shit,
on?
man. I'm trying to get 2 different new designs. You know, out of the R&D room and into people's hands. Gonna be launching my Phantom 150s and 250s, the ones that you guys have, some of you guys. And shit, yeah, just plugging along, making fixtures for people, doing custom fixtures now since I have the time. Quit my job in case anybody was wondering. And yeah, just doing LEDs full time, man. It's been great.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I heard that you're now doing LEDs full time, man. So you kind of like that freedom that it gives you, brother?
Yeah, man, I love it. I fucking hated waking up at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning, you know, driving to work in traffic, sitting there for 8 hours a day for a job that I automated basically. So, you know, I didn't have to do much at work, but people thought I was a fucking man because I got all this shit done that I just programmed in Visual Basic. But yeah, it's been great, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, congratulations, Photon. You know, nothing feels better than working for yourself, you know, so.
Yeah.
You know, congratulations on that, you know.
Yeah, like awesome. Every dollar I make now goes to me, you know.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking, like, our shop rate was like $200 an hour, and, you know, I'm only getting, you know, 50 of that. And, you know, it's like, you guys are getting 3/4 of what I'm making you know? It's not
yeah, I know that right. I know that. Like they said, man, there's no feeling of that feeling you get when you're working for yourself, man, and it's paying off. No feeling like it. So my man Nuevo Purple, man, what you got cracking over there, brother?
Perp? Oh, what's going on, everyone?
Oh, there you go. There my man is. Perp, what you got cracking over there, brother?
Not much, bro. Like you said, just on that super mids, some of that super mediocre superhero. Chilling, man. Not much. Just cracked an IPA. Been running around the past few days a little bit crazy. Some crazy shit happened, but yeah, doing all right, man. For the most part, could have been a lot worse. So just thankful to not be incarcerated.
Oh yeah, man. Bro. Was everything okay with your situation with your homeboy?
Yeah, we kind of lucked out. It was like, I don't know, homie wrecked out in the cuts, and so like where he wrecked, like you couldn't even see where he was. And then yeah, I don't know, fucking kind of stashed some shit. And when I got there, loaded shit up and just dipped, but came back the next day, and of course, yeah, got hassled a bit because my homie, of course, didn't file a police report right away and shit, which looks suspicious as fuck, but it was all good. Could have been a lot worse. Could have been worse.
Yeah. As long as everybody's safe.
And as long as you're safe, brother, that's all that really matters, man.
So, yeah, the accident was bad too. I'm really surprised my homie was all right. But it's a good thing.
Yeah. How's the garden?
Oh yeah, as far as the garden, doing all right. I'd flipped some stuff in my room on like the 14th, so I'm about like 4 days in right now. Yeah, some over-vegged mothers, but I kind of have like one or two per light, and then I have another tray that has like some smaller ones, about maybe like 6 or something like that of these smaller ones. But yeah, looking forward to getting another indoor flowering underway because it's been a long time for me. And yeah, just about to set up some other tents and focus on some other projects for the future. But yeah, just pretty excited. Some of this Bubba and Extreme OG. I was gonna play around with that and probably chuck some pollen at that with some other stuff, maybe some do males and this grapevine male that I have, that me and Buffalo have. But yeah, that's about it. Just chilling.
Dope.
That's what's up, Bert. So that's what's up, man. Glad to hear your garden doing good. I'm glad to hear you're okay, man. Really am. North Side, next on the list, brother. What you got going on over there, North Side?
Oh man, I just finally got in all my floor flex stuff for my new setup, so I'm pretty excited about that. I just gotta go pick that up from the garden store, and yeah, then I'll be switching everything over. I'll be flipping hopefully a week from this Monday. I'll be flowering my next batch, and I'll have 48 plants going in 6-inch rock wool, all top drip, Floraflex caps, and house and garden nutrients. And yeah, I mean, last time I did the same, but it was in Coco. I had one more plant, and I ended up getting like 11 pounds off of that, off of 4 lights. And so yeah, we'll see. I got one less plant this time. I'm hoping to get a better yield, so we'll see.
That's good, man. That's good. So, what do you normally pull off of one? What do you think you normally pull off of one light? Because you use Gavitas, right?
Yeah. I mean, at least I want to at least get 2.5. 2.5 pounds per Gavita.
For one light?
Yep, for one light.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Nice.
That's what's up. That's real nice, man. So, yeah, I hope you get that, man. I hope you work for you, man. I know you got some things that you're wanting to work on. We were talking about before. I hope that works out. I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah, and then I also got new strains coming. I just got done finishing up a nice little ninja fruit Fino search. I had 12 different Finos, and I got 2 really good ones. And then my next Fino search will be this Alien Rift crossed with Plushberry that I created. And then after that, I'll have Gelato crossed with Do number 41 from Archive. And so we'll see how all these new strains come out. I'm pretty excited about the new genetics because everything else I've been running, I've been running it for at least 5 years. So, I'm tired of the same old stuff. So these new seeds I'm pretty excited about.
Right. Yeah. And so you talk about that ninja fruit. I got a question about that ninja fruit. Mixed reviews of the ninja fruit. Tell me what's your take on the ninja fruit? Some people are saying it doesn't have like a real high potency or a potency at all. Some people are saying it do. What's your take on it?
So here's my thing, and I've sprouted a lot of seeds and stuff, and so I bought a bunch of seeds of ninja fruit. I got 5 10-packs when it first came out. I was on the waiting list for like a year, and because I've tried like 10-packs, from other people, and sometimes it's good, and then sometimes you might get like a bunch of hermaphrodites or a bunch of males and stuff. So the first 10-pack of ninja fruit I did, it ended up being 5 females and 7 males, and then those females ended up being hermaphrodited, but I was all of them. And so I could see like how people you know, if they were only going to buy a 10-pack and they got a 10-pack like that, it would be heated, you know, and but so I didn't give up, and then I was like, all right, fuck it. If there's hermaphrodite tendencies in this, you know, I'm going to sprout 2-packs this time. So I sprouted another 2-packs. It was 24 seeds, and then out of that one, you know, I got phenomenal results. You know, I'm doing. I didn't have no hermaphrodization, and I have you know, 12 of them right now that I'm going through, and I'm trying to think. I got 3 or 4 more that I still have the Fino search out of there. And it ended up coming to be like, you know, I had like 15 females and like 7 males, you know, out of 24 seeds. So, or you know, it was
Okay.
whatever that comes to. So.
Well, like I said, I've just been hearing mixed reviews. I've got a couple beans of it myself. I was thinking about popping, but I was just going to wait. I knew you had it, so I've been waiting to talk to you about it. So, you know, I might pop.
Right, and you know, and I could see, you know, a few seeds, you know, it might not be, you know, enough to get that super fire Fino. You know, I was looking, you know, I wanted to get that red Fino before, you know, I looked into it before I got it or whatever, and I was like, man, I seen some that were like, it was like a, you know, a red. I don't know how else to explain it. You know,
Right.
not purple, you know, not like light purple. It's just like pure red. And so I wanted to get, you know, a red strain. And so, yeah. And, you know, out of these, you know, I got, like I said, you know, I got 5 10-packs, and I've only sprouted so far. I'm into them 3 10-packs, and yeah, I got a really good red Fino that I'm super happy with.
Right.
And as far as like the trichomes and stuff go, man, a lot of them, you know, you're not, you know, they didn't have, you know, a tremendous amount of trichomes. So I was lucky, you know, with the 2 that I got 2 of them that have good trichomes, super dark. I got one that's like super dark purple, kind of gassy, and it's got a lot of trichomes on it, and that one's pretty good. And then I got a red one that's more of a sweetness flavor on like the back end, grapefruit, right when you taste it, and same density on nugs, a little bit less trichomes, but it's got that red color. So, I mean, I'd say it's a good one to breed with for sure. If you know, if you get a good red Fino, you know, maybe you throw some like thin mints on it. I don't know. I'm just saying. So.
Well, all right. D, what's up with you? How you doing tonight, man?
What's going on, fellas? I've been doing good, man. Everything's been going great. The move and everything. So everything's back rocking and rolling. Did a bunch of cloning. Yeah, did a bunch of cloning, trying out the grow chunks. Like I told y'all, I was asking y'all if y'all had any experience.
The croutons, right?
Yeah, yeah. The Crodans or whatever they're called. I tried them out, and so far everything's alive. They're happy. I got them under 5,000 Kelvin CFLs, and I got 8 banana breath clones and 2 jelly breath. So
jelly breath.
We'll
What's
see
that jelly breath?
Yeah, I'm super interested in the jelly breath.
You remember what that jelly breath cross?
Yeah. The homie told me it was meat breath and do-si-do.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
From in-house genetics.
Man, I keep telling my buddies about the meat breath, and they just keep giving me a sideways ass look and shit. And I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah, that no one it's old.
It's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. Like,
it's one of his first ones, I think, right?
I tell people around where I'm from, man, yeah, I got this meat breath, and they're like, dude, you trying to be funny, man? What the hell is meat breath?
Yeah, exactly.
Man, for real, meat breath. Like, it's like, dude, that sounds too dirty, man. Meat breath, right?
They're doing good, man. I thought they were gonna wilt on me and shrink up and shit, but they've been doing real good. They're happy. They look like the new growth is coming in still. We'll see in about another 7 days if we get some roots. If they're not dead or anything like that.
Okay.
So yeah. So I mean, they've been in there 3 days now, and they're still fucking praying. So that's good. And then the flower. I mean, it's almost done. I'm not going back to. I'm going back to scrogging, like I was telling Hans and Purple, because I'm not digging the freestyle, just growing straight up. You know, I guess you have to.
That is awesome.
Oh no.
Train a little better. You know, I like the scrog a lot better. You get a better.
There's got to be some kind of canopy management.
Yeah, you got to, bro, because that sucked. I did not like it. Even with trying to hold them up and pin them up and all of that shit, still, no. I didn't like the growth. It was too, like, I don't know. I think it would be better if they're a little stouter and a uniform canopy. Everything getting the same lightage and everything. I think that worked perfect for me, and I'm going back to that style and just sticking to that shit. Because it seems that when I try to do something different, it kind of throws it off when it goes to, like, as far as, like you said, canopy structure, some kind of canopy structure.
Right.
I think I need to stick to that. But I was really interested in the rock wool, like you guys were saying, because it is a lot less waste. And me working all the time, I mean, I think I can manage it better. I don't have to pay so much attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Well, from the way I'm thinking about taking care of, doing it. So, yeah, I'm just, just fucking around, experimenting, trying my hand, my green thumb, see what I can handle.
You won't have to pay. Break. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I want to take a quick break away from this. We'll get back into it real quick. But I want to give a big, huge happy birthday shout out. 59 today. That is awesome. I think that is awesome. And he's 59, and you know what I'm saying? Even if he ain't growing, he still participates. I think that is freaking awesome, man. So happy birthday to Hoss.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
I hope I make it to 59.
Yeah, no shit.
No, that's right. Go ahead, Sue.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, bro.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, man. I mean, everything's been, like I said, I cut down a couple of them in there. Got about 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, really. But it wasn't the yield that I was expecting. It was none of my expectations. So I'm going back to what I'm good at and what I know already, what I could do for sure, and rock it out like that. That's just my thoughts on it right now until we see what's up with this rock wool. But that's on another episode. We're doing Coco tonight.
Right.
And that's me, fellas. Captain, what it do, Captain?
Shit, sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Man, gotta eat. Buffalo gotta eat. So, my Captain, you next, buddy. You next, Captain. How you doing, brother? How you doing tonight, man?
I'm still trying to warm up. I was trekking in the snow all day today. I got some cold ass feet. It's like 14 degrees outside. Yeah, and I struck out. I was out hunting. I struck out, so it was a pretty rough weekend for me, but that's all right.
No luck again, bro.
Weekend over here.
Dude, it's cold, dude. It's cold. Like it's supposed to be like 8 degrees tonight. So yeah, it's chilly. And I'm still only just doing the one plant. I got the Candy Kush going in my little closet. This will be my first full run with the quantum boards, the 288s, 4,000 Kelvin. So I'm excited for it. it's looking pretty healthy. I'm really liking the light. It's 300 watts, so it should replace close to 600 watts of HPS power, and we'll see at the end. But it's my first true run with it, so I'm pretty excited. Besides that, I did have some strawberry daiquiri crossed Hindu Kush from Nomad, and I ended up chopping those down to make some space and make FPJ. So I do have an FPJ going of the strawberry daiquiri Hindu Kush. But the next round for me will probably be the Fino that I kept from the tester from the THC Titan, which is the Sunset Sherbet cross peanut butter breath. And then after that, I think I will be jumping into the Bay Bread. So pretty excited for that. This winter, I'm crazy busy as always. I will be working 7 days a week until April from here on out.
Hell yeah, rock it out.
Yes, but hopefully that ends in April, and then I'll be moving on to better things. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm just trying to warm up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I know it's cold out there, man.
Oh, I'm trekking in it all day, man. My feet are frozen today.
Sucks. And yeah, how big is that space you have, man? That's one lady in a pretty good size little space you got there, and it's covered.
Yeah, it's 3x3x7, so it's only a 3x3 box, but it is 10 gallons of cocoa, and I've been doing big plants in the past because it's a lot easier to deal with. You only got to feed one plant, except for this thing's drinking like 2.5 gallons a day, so it's a lot of maintenance, but it's worth it. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks nice. Like those lights are doing pretty good. So Phantom, what do you think? Not to start any bullshit, but I'm just saying, what do you think about the quantum boards? Photon. I forgot he said he was gonna be doing shit around the house.
Yeah, it's similar to what he has, but I think Photon's on a better track than what they're doing. Photon's setting it up to where you can run it at a cooler setup temperature and get a good solid coverage. Plus, he's doing a good range on his color spectrum.
Yeah, sorry,
So
I was muted back there, guys.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, they're a great product. We use the same diodes. You know, it's no coincidence. They're the best value for what you get on the market. And then I use kind of mid-grade blue and red diodes because you know, I looked at using the Osram reds that are really efficient, and the Cree XPG reds that are really efficient, and you know, it doubled or tripled the price of my board. And you know, I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, I use 40 red diodes out of 240, and I did the math, and it was like a 7% gain in efficiency for double or triple the price. And I was just like, yeah, it's not worth it for my customers, you know, or me, or anybody. So, and I really don't want any more red. If I'm looking at my spectral graphs, like, you know, it's pretty even across the way. So, but yeah, no, the quantum boards are a great product. I'm not going to knock them at all. And, you know, I just, or mine run around 36 volts, so you can replace cobs with my boards, as opposed to the 54 volts or the 108 volts, I think, that the quantum board 288s and 304s run at.
Yeah, that's what Captain was saying. That you can.
And then I've got my
job.
checkerboard pattern, which it keeps the heat from one diode from running into the heat from the next diode and them heating each other up as much. You know, you can't get away from that all the way, but yeah, it does make them more efficient.
Nice.
And then I split my circuit up into more parallel strings, so I'm running less current through each diode, which also makes them more efficient. So, you know, there's a couple things I tried to improve on.
Yeah, yeah. You're killing it though, Captain. You look great out there, man. That damn stock on is so damn thick, because that bottle of Bloom Chaos is about damn near 3 inches, right?
Yeah, and the stock has actually surpassed the bottle at this point.
Yeah, that's nice.
So LEDs do work if anybody's wondering.
Yeah. It looks like they love it.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to that.
And that's an smart pot you're using?
Yeah, I like the air pot more because I get more air into the medium, and it does dry out faster, but I'm able to feed it more in the smart pot. Now, if I do a regular bucket, I feed it less. So I like to get as much as I can in there in the period that I have to feed. So I use smart pot.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the dry down times. You know.
Yeah, you helped me out.
Dry down, yeah.
Yeah,
While you're feeding it.
I was asking Doja that the other day about that because I was having issues of I was like overwatering them because they were like shooting out pistils too slow. But as soon as I let them dry out a little bit, then fucking things just went crazy, just busting out everywhere. So thank you, bro, for that one. I really did. You know, simple shit like that really I forget to do sometimes. Like
I always tell people that overwatering comes from watering too frequently, not from watering too much at one time.
Yeah. There you go.
You know, you can run a gallon through a gallon pot.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not going to hurt it as long as you don't water it for the next couple days, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm testing out these new.
I'm glad you guys brought that up because we can go right into. We can take that and go straight into just growing in cocoa, and that's one of them. When to water, and water versus auto top feed systems, and flooding drains. It's a lot of different things. You know, a few different things we wanted to talk about cocoa. So, about watering plants right now. How about we talk about when to water in cocoa?
Wherever's growing, I'm ready for y'all because I don't know how to do shit in cocoa. I think I killed like 3 of the mother plants the homie gave me. Overwatering.
Well, I grow in cocoa, and cocoa is as far as like when to water, it's almost the same as like with soil. You can, that you can determine when you want to water. You know, some people do the lift test when they lift to see if it's light.
I actually know a guy that. Am I muted? Sorry.
No, you're not muted.
Oh, I actually know a guy that Walmart was having like a fire sale on a bunch of scales, and he uses like 10-gallon pots, so he actually has a scale under each one of his pots, and that just tells him if that one needs water or not.
Oh, now that's taking it to the next level. That's pretty good.
That's it.
Ingenious. If I'm top feeding or hand feeding, like I said, you can feel. Sometimes I'll feel the top of the cocoa to see how it feels. When it's at a certain density, or if it's when it's a certain texture, then I go ahead and water the bag. Where I lift the bag, give it the weight, just lift to see how light it is. Man, cocoa, man, I can water every day if I want to with cocoa. A full watering, like I think some people say when they water, if I'm not mistaken, for those that grow in soil, when you water, you want to do what, like a 10 to maybe 15% runoff?
Yep.
Okay, so with cocoa, if I water
more than that, I've heard up to 30%.
Yeah, so with cocoa, I may not go that heavy with water if I water every day. I may not.
I never have any runoff my cocoa when I do it or whatever. I pretty much just treat it like a soilless medium.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk. Since you grow in cocoa too, go ahead and how do you do your cocoa, Northside?
All right, so how I do my cocoa, I'll start right from the beginning. I buy the compacted bricks, because they're cheaper or whatever, and I get them from Botanicare, those the compacted bricks of cocoa, and they say 3 gallons, but I give them 5, and when I give them, I just mix up 5 gallons of, fully nuded, water, like just like I would give any other, any other veg plant. and that's what I give them to bloom. And then I usually leave them, you know, overnight or whatever to, you can chop them up, you know, use like I have in a pinch, use a hammer and a screwdriver and, chip the brick away and got it to expand, you know, like within like an hour. But usually I'll just pour the nutrients over it, split it up like 3 times and come back the next day. But yeah, I get full newts and then as far as then that's how I bloom the cocoa, and then I always have, you know, like a pot or a big ass, you know, container of it. You know, one of those like rope containers you put kegs in. I have one of those full of cocoa all the time because I still use cocoa for my Fino searches and stuff. You know, even though that my flowering is going to be in rock wool, I don't want to waste a rock wool cube on, you know, on a potential male or, you know, an undesirable Fino. So I'll always still grown cocoa. And then, yeah, I mean, you just have to remember that they have, you know, they leach potassium. And so you just have to watch on your MPKs, you know, with your flowering newts. But I've never had a problem with that. And yeah, man, I just I treat it like a soilless substrate, and I let it dry out as much as I can. Like I try and water when they're in flowering. I'd like to give, so they're in 7-gallon pots. I'd like to give them a gallon of water every day. You know, from week 4 on till the end.
That's what I noticed too, bro. That when you let them dry out, when I was talking to Hands and Dirt, I noticed that when you would let them dry out, they were like, the new growth would like really burst out. And then when you would feed them or water them or whatever, they would really like take off in the next couple of days. You would really see that growth. You could like literally see the growth the next day and shit. So I think it was less is more with the cocoa, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like Floraflex, you know, has the little containers. Like you could even do 1-gallon pots of them, top drip, you know, like 12 times a day, just like rockwool, if you wanted to. My problem with the cocoa that I always seem to run into is that I run synthetic nutrients, and it seems to have like a hydrophobic kind of reaction with the water, like especially like maybe in like week 6 or week 7 of flowering, especially in like the, you know, the smaller pots where the water's not getting absorbed and it just kind of like runs off. And so that's why I don't, you know, that's why I'm switching, you know, to the rock wool. Because
yeah, I have that problem with soil sometimes.
Oh, it's like hydrophobic like that.
I'll just come in with a backpack sprayer beforehand and like spray down the soil so it's all damp and wet.
Right.
And actually come in and water afterwards.
But
that's just how I've kind of taken care of that a little bit. I don't know if that would help you, but
you could also mitigate the problem by using a surfactant. So you could use like a yucca extract, and that basically breaks down the water molecule till it's more wet and will get into those cracks and moisten things faster.
Oh,
like you should never let it get to the point of being too dry.
Okay.
Because the cocoa holds on to salts. And if you let it get too dry, it will dump those salts.
Yep.
But yeah, big tip, use the yucca.
Yeah, yucca, aloe, those are both surfactants. Yeah, soap even.
Thanks for correcting me on that. I think I said surfactant.
So Grow Noob had asked a pretty good question. He was saying, does anybody pre-charge their cocoa before they
recharge is bomb. It comes with everything in it, and you should definitely. I believe in hitting microbes in your cocoa. And
no, he was saying pre-charge, but yeah, recharge is dope too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh crap.
Yeah. So charging your medium is important also.
Yeah.
Hold on, you said Grow Noob?
How do you pre-charge? your cocoa. Give us an idea. What do you do? What steps you go through to pre-charge your cocoa?
Okay, yeah. So it's a good idea to charge your cocoa because yes, it's a medium that carries no nutrient factor whatsoever. So if you're starting seeds, your seeds carry so much inside them until a certain point, and you want to have that substrate filled with your nutrient power by the time the roots need it and the plant needs it. Now, clones, you should have it already in there as well as soon as you transplant your clones with roots, because the medium carries no nutrient whatsoever. So you're going to have to charge it with your nutrient recipe for the early veg cycle. And I also personally like to do the microbes. So I have quite a complex microbe setup to where it's like quite a few different bottles, and I use Azos, Mycos, Photosynthetic Plus, SLF 100, Culture Biologics, just so I'm covering every single base possible for them to have the best start to get going.
Yeah. I heard that you can also use frass to charge your cocoa. Is that true, or that's not good?
Yes, you can. No, frass is great. Frass is another great one. I don't personally use it to start with because it has such a strong bacteria and fungi with it. I like to do it after like 2 weeks of veg, and I use it after I use the other microbes because it seems that it has a certain set of microbes that consume the bacteria and dump the nutrients a lot faster to the roots. Frass kicks ass.
Hell yeah. I use that shit, and it really does, bro, especially in veg. And in flower even, I mean, it makes sure everything keeps growing and don't stunt anything, really, I think.
Yeah, I do about pretty much about the same regimen that Captain does. Definitely CalMag. Because that cocoa was stored at CalMag, soak it up. So I definitely CalMag. I pH my water between 5.5 to 5.8. Use seaweed extract. I live and die by seaweed extract, man. Whether it's seaweed plant food or you can get like the fish extract if you want to try to use that. But I live and die by seaweed plant.
And you're using which product? You're using the one by Reno's, correct?
Oh, I use now. See, here's the kicker. I use Neptune's Harvest seaweed plant food. It's an NPK ratio of 0.001, and then I also use Remo's Velo Kelp, which is a NPK value of 1.11. So I use both of those. And yeah, that Remo's Velo Kelp, dude, that's some awesome. You were explaining to me about the certain kelp that they use that not everybody else uses. What was that kelp?
Yeah, he uses a bull kelp, and the bull kelp is known to be one of the fastest growing plants on Earth. I think it can grow like 7 feet a day.
Wow.
Yeah,
so it carries a huge load of that growth hormone.
Yeah, so and then I even like my CalMag. I don't know how much CalMag you guys put, but I usually put anywhere between 8 to 10 mil per gallon when I first start off. Now I take that back. If I'm just doing seedlings, it's 1 to 5. It's about 2 to 5 mil. If I'm doing like transplanting plants, 10 mil per gallon of CalMag, because I know that cocoa will soak, will soak most of it up, will soak some of it up anyways. If I'm doing like transplanting plants. I can't hear you, whoever that was.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, but that's how I do mine though. So
okay.
So anybody got any questions out there about as far as watering cocoa?
What about the bottom fed? Is that pretty cool? Is it all right to bottom feed cocoa? Can you do that?
Yeah, I mean you figure, okay, so bottom feeding, to answer that question, will help us lead into like the flood and drain part of using cocoa. So because if you flood and drain,
I know we always go to the my bad. I know we always go to the flood and drain, but for somebody that only got hands to do it for a while, I mean, is it cool to just have you a tray and go out there?
That's what I was going to get to. So like if you take the concept of flood and drain, it feeds from the bottom. So do you know that you can feed from the bottom? Like, okay, so I use flood and drain, but I have plants that are in 3-gallon grow bags. So I either top feed, or I'll feed it. I'll just put it right in the holder, you know, and feed from the bottom. The water straight up, you know, it'll take it right up. Okay, so if I'm watering, and let's say if I have a little bit of runoff in the whole tray, I might let it sit there. Some people say don't, dude. I might let it sit there for like a day.
Okay.
Right up. You know, to soak it right up. Now in soil, I wouldn't do that in soil, but I don't have a problem with doing it in cocoa.
Okay. So it would be like a way to not overwater your plant if you're a beginner, right? Because you could just let it suck up what it needs as it goes.
I would say, yeah, but you can still, I would say as a beginner, no, don't do that, because you still have to tell the telltale signs as if it's, what if the water goes stagnant? You know, what if you leave it in there for too long and you don't have enough air circulation and the water, you know, becomes, you know, whatever, if let's say your environment, your growing environment doesn't suit you to let that water sit in the bottom of that tray, you know? So I would say as a new grower, I would say no. As a new grower, I would say I would start off with about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 cups of water with cocoa, but I would do that every day. You know what I mean? 2 to 3 cups of water is a new, and you can pour it in the bottom of it or you can top feed it, either way. Would you say that'd be an accurate assessment, Doja and Captain?
Yeah, my my thing is I personally don't like to water up from the bottom, but you can. I like to have runoff come out the bottom to chase out the extra sodium molecules that do build up in cocoa. Now, if you are doing it a certain way and have been doing it for a while, then flood and drain and coming up from the bottom cannot be a big ordeal. But like you're saying, for a new grower, you can get sodium up through the bottom of your medium, and it will soak up to the maybe 2-3 inch level above the base, and you'll have a harder time getting that out when you're looking to flush.
Well, it's not necessarily sodium, because sodium concentrations usually are pretty minimal in water as well as any nutrient you're going to buy. But it's the salts basically that you're worried about.
Well,
right.
I was just going to say that I've done
that is, you know. But yeah, my bad. Go on.
In 7-gallon pots of cocoa for a long ass time, and I've never had any problems with like flushing. You know, I always give them the, you know, a good 2 weeks or whatever when they're done. And I never had any problems with that.
Yeah, personally,
I don't think
my bad. Go on.
Go ahead, Perk.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I've never really had any problems with like a salt buildup or lockout issues. I mean, of course, you know, every now and again you might run into some lockout issues, but it's usually more pH related to me than it is feeding too much salt into my medium. Yeah, I think that cocoa's good. You know, you can overwater, so it's interesting. It's a fine line with any medium. I would say you could overwater fucking. You could probably overwater hydrogen, as fucking hard as that would be, but I think cocoa's I think cocoa's a good medium to use for any sort of method. Flood and drain, especially because of the large particle size of the cocoa. So, and like Buffalo was saying, you're gonna have that you know, you're gonna have that capillary action that's gonna, you know, basically cause the water to move from the bottom to the top of your medium, usually, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, I dig the concept of flushing from the top too, you know what I'm saying? Like usually when I flush and flood and drain, I won't just do like, you know, I'll change my resis to pure water, but I'll like come and flush from the top too to push out those excess salts.
Yeah, because I was just talking with the guys the other day too, with Bay Bread and Loki about those they're like, that's the word I was looking for last time, with the capillary action. They're like gravity. I guess you can open them up, and the other end is like in a reservoir. They start with a B. I forgot what the hell they're called. They look like little spikes, hydro spikes or some shit. You plug them, they're like a ceramic tip, and I guess it pulls the water as the plant gets hungry and shit.
Oh, the blue mats, right? Is that the blue mats?
Yeah, those damn things. That's what they're called. Yeah. Well, what do you think about those? Would that be a good, like, thing to use while you're not at home able to, feed. If you don't have a automatic pump or anything like that. If you were doing Coco.
Hell yeah. Yeah, any sort of soil moisture or medium moisture sensor, I think that's pretty dope. What's cool about those ones is they don't actually use like any sort of electronic equipment, so it's like not powered by anything. I think it's just has something to do with I don't know. I'm sure maybe Captain or someone else might know, or Doja, but something to do with like the material they're made out of that causes them to open and close. I'm pretty sure, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, because I got the ones that are called hydro spikes, and I went to go see if they had some other ones, and I looked up those, and they have like a little dial on them, man, that you can even open up and like dial in the how hard you want to
calibrate your drip.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. And they look pretty simple to use too, man. You just hook the other end to the damn reservoir, and I think you just aerate the water as long as it's closed, and the same air that's pumping into the water is pushing the water through the vein or some shit like that. Pretty dope. And simple, efficient.
Yeah, I'm definitely have to check that out.
How you say the name again? Perp?
If I'm not mistaken, they're called blue mats, but
yeah,
it's like a top feeding type of deal. But yeah.
And then you guys were talking about, and then Captain brought up a good point about what was a good discussion about bottom feeding and top feeding. I do know for the climates that get extreme, whether it's hot or cold, I found it better that when the colder it is, to bottom feed. You know what I mean? To feed in the whole tray. I was speaking. I forget who it was I was talking to about this when I first started, but when it's cold and it just seems like it was better for me to pour the water in my tray in the holder from the top. That was before I started doing my flood and drain. When I started doing my flood and drain, once I started doing that, what I would do is if it was cold, I would right now, I would only let my water come up so high and then when it's warmer, in the warmer season, I would let the water come up higher. It was something about the root zone, man. It was something about the water being colder water for that long period of time. But I did find out a little bit better success with that, especially with Coco,
Is that to adjust the water temperature, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was with the water temperature because the water's colder. Like in where I am, I don't really have the access to I don't have that access to let my water sit out. Because if I let the water sit out, it's going to get even colder. You know what I'm saying? So I use my tap water. I don't have an RO system. I have a water filtration system, but I just use my tap water. It goes to my water filtration system, and so yeah, it just. But yeah, I think it was just that was just for that. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was. I did see a significant difference in my root zone in my plants, and when it was colder or warmer. That's just something to throw out to the new people that are starting. Just pay attention. Read your plant. That's basically what I'm saying. Just read your plant. Your plant will tell you. Like, hey man, you messing me up. If I had two big arms, I'd beat your ass right now. You messing me up. So, but just read your plant.
Point also for water temperature and root mass temperature. That's another good thing for people just learning too.
Yeah. But yeah, let's see. So Dirty, I'm gonna let you go ahead and ask some questions, man, because I know you had a lot of questions for us in the chat. So go ahead, man. Start bringing them out, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. When you were saying something about the cow mag, I hear that when you're in doing towards flower, I think you need a lot of cow mag and cocoa, right? Because you said it eats it up.
About the cow mag, go ahead, brother. What was you saying now?
I said when you were saying something about the cow mag. So when you go into flower and cocoa, do you have to keep constantly using it?
No, now I'll tell you what I do, and then Captain and Doja can tell you what they do. Me, I treat it just like a soil. I cut back. Matter of fact, I might even cut back a little bit sooner because I know stores that CalMag for a little bit longer. So I might even cut back a little bit sooner and flower at the end before I start flushing.
Okay.
Doja?
What do you guys think about that as far as, I guess, the CalMag and feeding? I mean, you have to feed every time too as well, right? When you give you just don't water, you feed and water at the same time, basically.
For as far as my calcium and magnesium goes, with House and Garden, it's in their amino acid blend or whatever, and yeah, I give it. I'm gonna give it every watering during veg because that's when they need it. The silica and all that adds to the stalk strength, and that's just going to help you later in flowering. It's like it's like a highway, for the nutrients to get to the buds.
That's another thing I heard that somebody we were talking in the chat and we were saying something about the silica, that it's not
That's why I use the silica
to make the stalk stronger, right? I mean, everything a little bit
right.
more
Well,
rigid.
the bigger they get, the more capillaries they'll have, and the better they'll be able to bring the newts to their buds.
Yeah, more structure, I guess, more build.
Strengthens the cell walls. I'm not exactly sure through what mechanism, but yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm back to
the
calcium luxury levels for cocoa. So let's say you're growing in dirt and then you move to cocoa, you are going to want to add more calcium and magnesium because for some reason cocoa grabs onto that more so. So you do want to have a luxury level of CalMag.
I think that's what my problem was, because like I was telling y'all, when I got the cocoa, and I noticed that they were root bounded, I didn't have any more cocoa. So what I did was transplant straight into the soil, organic soil that I have, and it completely, like, I guess it like drowned them, not drowned them, but suffocated them, I guess. Or I don't know what happened, but it just like they just shut down completely, went into shock. Everything drooped, the leaves started dropping, and I let them dry out, and I fed them with some fish, just regular, a little the Alaskan fish, and they seemed to come back, but then they went right back into that shock again. So it was kind of crazy how, I guess they were trying to adjust but couldn't adjust, or
well, also in cocoa, it dries out, and if you get dry pockets, you can have issues like that happening as well.
Yeah, because that's what I was telling you. It was like half of, like, some of the branches were like bloomed, were like robust and vigorous, but other ones were dying off and dry and shit. Like
you probably
literally,
you were probably losing pockets of roots.
Okay, yeah, because it did seem kind of weird how I would put the water on it; it would just beat up right at the top,
Yeah, and I'm different from most with cocoa. I use organics, and the specific line I use is Nectar for the Gods, and it's a calcium-based line. So I never really have the issue of the calcium issue because it's just a buttload of calcium in every factor of the nutrient line. So it's a really good one also, I would say, to use for cocoa. Now it is like 1,900 bottles and you got to mix it every time, but it's a great nutrient for cocoa if you want to run organics. It's called Nectar for the Gods.
Yeah, I ran that, and it never burned my plants, I noticed. And it got a badass smell, like a mint smell.
Yeah, they actually put mint in every bottle so it doesn't smell like ass. But each individual bottle is an individual nutrient that's been either enzymatically broken down or broken down by an acid. So it's organic and broken down. So you don't have that wait period. So if you have like green sand in your soil, that takes like a year and a half to break down, or it can go faster with a certain type of microbe. But also bone meal takes longer to break down. So if you're making like a super soil and you let it cook for 2 months, there's certain things the plant's not going to get on the breakdown or by the time it's done. So the reason why they did Nectar for the Gods is so it's instantly available. It's really good stuff.
Shit, that's tight. Yeah, I really did like it. I mean, I used that and bud candy, man, and I fucking had a blast growing that thing. So I may go back, and it was cheap too. It was a little starter pack.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty neat. That's pretty nice to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's just badass.
That pretty so that can lead up into nutrients. We wanted to talk about nutrients in cocoa. So, I'm gonna ask people.
Real quick, I was gonna say what up. I think we have DC Pharma in the house. If he wants to say what up, real quick.
Yeah, you did jump in. What's up, DC? How you doing?
Hey, how's everything going, man? Just listening in to the conversation.
What's going on?
Yeah, man.
So,
we got you, man. Why don't you give us a little?
Change the topic, not to change the topic before we get to what we're going. Since we talking about cocoa growing and all that, you guys, what are the end results that you guys are looking for when you're growing in cocoa? Like what are the benefits that you see in growing in cocoa?
I'll tell you the benefit that I've seen, because I started out with like Fox Farm, Ocean Forest soil. I started out with that, which wasn't bad. I mean, it worked. It did work. I tell you, it was the taste was a little different than using cocoa. Not only the taste, but I'm able to manipulate a lot more of what I want to do with my nutrients and everything than I am with the soil. And then it's like a
So in other words, it's more of a blank canvas.
Yes, exactly. It is. You start off on a blank, and do what you want to do with it. That's what I feel about it. I don't know how Captain in Northside Doja feel about it, but that's how I feel about it.
As far as the taste, though, what do you mean as it tastes? It tastes harsh, or is it cleaner or crisper? Or what do you?
Nothing's cleaner or crisper. I mean, if you really want cleaner or crisper, you're gonna go organic. Salts, no bottle, if you want. But I just know when you in dirt, in that particular dirt, it was more of a stronger, earthier taste. You know what I mean? I like the stronger, earthier. I didn't like that strong, earthy taste. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people that don't like that taste. They could taste the earth.
Yeah.
So they like that chemical harsh taste. Well, it's not even harsh. It's just more of a. It's more of a. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a mind thing, really.
Give me the point.
Well, yeah.
Give me the point.
I don't know about harshness. I think that would obviously depends on your flush and whatever. Obviously using synthetics, but I would say one benefit of using cocoa is that the particle size allows for good cation exchange capacity, as well as a good oxygen good oxygen concentration being supplied to the root zone. So that's one positive aspect of using cocoa. And I know like a lot of no-till guys and stuff like Blunt Thumb and stuff, they'll incorporate it into their soil mix, just as a nice base. But
yeah, I completely agree with that, because I like the air-water ratio that's in cocoa. It's very similar to rock wool, but it's just like soil, so it's good good to work with organics. Now, the other benefits of cocoa I found is the rate that the plant can grow. So you can get larger yields. So let's say you have a 10-gallon bag of cocoa and you have a 10-gallon bag of ocean forest. You can get more yield out of that cocoa. Plus, you get faster growth rates, so you can actually cut time off the flowering period as well. And that's why I like it.
Cool.
Well, just like Andrew NOD said, which I like that. I like what he said, which is true. I can use smaller pots. I don't know about getting the bigger, denser buds. You may not, but I can use smaller pots and still get the same size plant out of if I use, like some people are using 5-gallon pots. I'm using a 2.5, 3-gallon. Mine is just as big as as theirs. because of like you said, the aeration within that. It pretty much, which could lead into the next part of it, but it pretty much air prunes. You know what I mean? The cocoa. I mean, with using that cocoa, I don't use bags. I use grow bags, or I use smart pots. You know what I'm saying? But with the cocoa, without allowing to be able to water that every day the way I do, you know, I could get the same size plants and use a smaller pot.
Okay.
You know, use a 5 gallon or 7 gallon. And then not only that, my grow space isn't as big as everybody's, and plus you guys all see, I usually run a bunch of different strains, and I usually got a 10 full. So, you know, I can't, you know, so I just pick the smaller bags, and I could get the same size plant out of that.
Yeah. So that's basically.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's basically what DC Farmer was getting at, is the benefits, right? So it's bigger root mass. You can use a smaller pot because you don't have that much space, but still get a bigger plant. So how about the end results? Is it cut down on time? Does it make denser buds like the homie in the chat said? Or what do you think about as far as that stuff?
Well, for time, the thing is you can cut time off. You can get the same results in the soil, but you cut time off with the cocoa because you're getting more air and you're feeding more often. So your plant's able to feed more often as well. So in comparing the two, so if you had one side by side, you have 1 in 5 gallons here, 1 in 5 gallons here. You're going to end up feeding the cocoa more often, and you're going to end up flushing it at a later point. So you will have a larger product from the cocoa. I'm not going to say it's better because, you know, salts, I've seen great salts buds. I've seen great organic buds. There's no better. You're just going to have a larger result from the cocoa because the way that it feeds and the air water exchange inside that medium.
Okay. And in order to get that.
And then to answer your question, then another way to answer your question, Dirty, basically, man, some of that depends on the grower.
I was just going to say that too.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what you use. It depends on the grower. Yeah. I mean, if you get what you put into your garden, you know what I mean? You get what you put into it, you know? So, I mean, regardless of if I'm growing in cocoa or if I'm growing in soil, I'm going to get out of my garden what I put into my garden. You know, if I'm using bullshit, I'm going to have a bullshit garden. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a lazy grower, I'm going to have a lazy garden, you know?
That's right.
With cocoa, what I like about cocoa is that, like DC said, I can manipulate it easier than I can with soil, you know?
Well, I definitely just want to say I loved all the answers that I got from it because, you know, it's definitely a purpose and a reason for why people do the things they do. You know what I mean? Space being one of them. And the fact that you could actually grow the plant the same size that I could probably grow in a 15-gallon or 20-gallon pot, that's an amazing thing, man. You know what I mean? So therefore, in certain aspect of this game of the cannabis plant that we're growing, it would seem that synthetic will have a role to play in it as well. You know, even though I advertise, and I will always advertise organic growing, I'm not trying to hate on anything we do in this cannabis industry because this is a plant that is just now starting to be rediscovered. So, you know, it's definitely good to keep an open mind on everything.
Right. No, yeah, and you know what, you can I can't even think of the word I'm getting ready to say, but organic with cocoa. I mean, when I first started with cocoa, I was using and worm casting and just teas, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when I first started with cocoa, because I was afraid that I was going to mess it up with the nutrients. I was afraid to add nutrients, dude. I mean, that's how scared I was with I mean, everybody's like, man, go cocoa. I'm like, dude, I heard horror stories. I heard people messing up their whole garden with cocoa. I ain't never. So I mean, I started with worm casting. So you could really incorporate cocoa. You know, you just, like I said, it's just you got to get it dialed in, man. Just like with anything in this growing this beautiful plant, man, you just got to get it dialed in.
Yeah, and I got an example for you guys. So I vegged this plant for 30 days, and it's been flowering now for less than 3 weeks. Pull it up here. All right, so this had 1 month veg time. You can see the difference there.
Damn.
Wow.
Fucking beast.
I mean, it's a monster.
I could never do that in soil.
What the?
Okay, so it's only 1 month veg, and then less than 3 weeks flower.
That thing is a beast.
That's that Blue Dream side, I think, you know, and then that OG Kush side comes out on the end when it's all powerhouse. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't do this in soil because I've done many a big plant, but I can't get the size and girth like this with like a Fox Farm unless I veg for double.
And that's all because of the, I guess, of the stretching of the roots, right? I mean, when it gets
it's
thirsty.
the expansion of the roots. It's the air exchange ratio. It's the way you can feed it more often. It's like, I personally, to me, I think Coco's steroids compared to like a Fox Farm.
Because they get it direct.
I agree.
It's direct.
My only comment to that would be like, you have to pick and choose the way you want. So if you're doing Coco, definitely have to do that. If you can't do organic with that, you're not going to get great results, right? So when you're saying so, then I'm breaking up.
Go
ahead, brother. Try to get
breaking up.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
DC.
so
Go ahead. Try to get DC.
So what I'm saying is when you're saying soil, and then you throw out a name like Fox Farm and all that, that's not really growing in the soil. And then if you use a synthetic in soil, you kind of like fighting yourself. So it's all in the way you grow and how you growing. So if you're going to try to use synthetic in soil, don't do it. You're not going to get great results.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever tried Flora Nova from General Hydroponics in Coco before? That's supposed to be that's supposed to be organic.
No, I've never tried Flora Nova. I mean, there's okay. Now DC will tell you. I mean, anybody that grows organic or grows no-till, if
and that's all salt.
it ain't
I think that's all salt because the damn bottle weighs like 3 pounds.
Advanced Nutrient just went organic with a lot of their lineup. Advanced Nutrient just went organic with a lot of their lineup.
What you buying?
I don't know. It says organic.
These products.
Take it.
Try to maybe unplug your mic and plug it back in real quick, Pharma.
All right, let me try that.
Yeah, sorry to cut him off there, but it was a little bit bad.
Yeah, in the defense of pharma, no-till is the perfect way to go. I would love to do it, but I don't have a big enough space because you let the microbes do all the work and you get a great product. But if you're in a situation like me and you have 10 gallons to work with, I personally rather do 10 gallons of Coco because I can get more product.
What about those grassroot pots that they make, the little custom made ones? Like they're like, I think like 18 inches tall and shit. You can get them custom made.
That leads right into the next topic: pots, pot sizes and pots. And glad you brought it up. I don't know. When you spoke with the grassroots guys, what do you think about the grassroots?
Yeah, I mean,
what do you think about their pot?
We were supposed to have them on, man, and everything. But Mr. Tyler was busy, I believe, and he couldn't get on that. He needed to get on that Friday, not that Saturday. So I think we missed him. But we're gonna contact him and try to get him back on, man. See if we can shoot him those questions. Have you guys had any experience with grassroot pots?
Yeah, man. We had him on Tricky D's show a couple months ago, so I got a couple free ones, and yeah, they were great. They make your plants dry out a lot faster than regular pots, and so you're just constantly feeding them more. And Yeah, I really like them. I actually know a commercial operation here in Seattle that uses the 7-gallon fabric pots, and they just throw them away after every cycle. So I get free fabric pots that way.
Nice. So
Sweet.
you would get more a bigger plant if you would use a fabric pot or a
Yeah, as long as you keep it
plastic
watered,
container
they
for cocoa.
dries out way faster. So you gotta be vigilant on your watering. But if you do it right, yeah, you're giving your plants more water, more nutrients, and doing more photosynthesis. So
I saw a farmer came back in. You want to try your mic again, bro?
Yeah, sure. Can y'all hear me better now?
There we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
I can hear you.
And since we talking about the fabric pots, man, I love them too. And the other benefit of fabric pots is that they also air prune your roots, so you don't have that root
that's spiraling.
build up. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
your plants get all the nutrients it needs. Without it having a root ball build up or whatever the case may be. So the fabric pots are definitely an A+ in the growing game right now.
All right. And what about plastic? Would it be do they dry out less in plastic, or does it keep? They would
What I find
because of
with plastic and soil, and I'm speaking of soil. What I find with plastic is that when you do water, it seems to retain more moisture at the bottom of the pot. So you could run into problems like that. So, but as long as you're attentive and keep a mindful eye on your garden, you good. But just keep in mind with
Yeah.
plastic, it seems to retain more moisture at the bottom.
Yeah. Agreed.
No, I agree with that. I agree. I'm like I said, I mix mine up with I got the plastic grow bags. I use the smart pots, the fabric pots. Found with the plastic grow bags, they're thin enough to where, I mean, it's not like using a fabric pot, but it's thin enough to where the air goes through. So I've never had a problem out of that. I've had more problem out of the thick plastic pots than I've had out of the plastic grow bags. Plus, shit, dude, I'm a miser sometimes. I'm gonna spend 30 cents on a 3-gallon bag, or I'm gonna spend $3 on a 3-gallon pot. So sometimes you got to choose what. But, I definitely fabric pots, man. Yeah, if thing with fabric pots, if you got good air circulation, man, you better be on your water game. You better be on your water game. It's gonna dry out. Better be on your water game. Fabric pots, I think I've seen a lot of guys that do organic or no-till. They get those big, 20, 30-gallon fabric pots, DC, and they set up in those.
Yeah, definitely. And just for the same reason you said,
like a drip system. They put like a drip system on it.
Yeah, and since you have that aeration and the soil seems to dry out a bit faster, overfeed or drown out your roots.
Right.
Okay. Hell yeah. See, that's what I noticed a lot because I got about 2 fabric pots, and I noticed that they always stay happy when I water them. But it seems that the other ones, when I water them, that are in plastic, they get a little sad. Like if I overwater them, or I let them, like Legal said, you let a little bit of the water sit at the bottom. They get a little unhappy until it dries out. So I'm looking forward to switching over to straight just fabric. And another thing I was gonna ask you guys, for the newbies and shit, you know what I'm saying? When you say air prune and like, so they can understand, I guess, it'll stop them from root bounding, and it keeps cutting away at the roots, and it keeps growing new roots where they're cutting away at, basically, right? Or is that wrong?
So the roots will kind of poke out of the pot a little bit, and roots won't grow where there's air and light. So they just kind of stop once they hit the edge of the pot, and instead of like inside of a rubber plastic pot, they start twirling around the pot.
Mm-hmm. And that would cause them to root bound, right?
Yeah, and so they grow in thickness instead of growing in length.
Okay.
So it hits the end, and then it starts growing thicker and bigger round. So you've got more surface area to take up water, and it doesn't have to travel as far because it's not growing lengthwise. It's growing, in diameter.
Okay. That's a good thing. That's what we want.
Well, technically, when my bad.
So I was hoping you was gonna jump in. That saves me. Go ahead, Bert.
Go ahead, Bert.
I was just gonna.
I could be totally wrong on that.
Technically, the smaller the roots, the more surface area to volume ratio you're getting, right? So technically, you're having more surface area with smaller roots, but yeah, just a small little factoid there. But yeah, most of your absorption is actually happening with smaller feeder roots. But I have like this bad echo going on. I don't know why. Sorry.
Hey, Purple. Also, when they do root prune, do they throw fish bones more often as well?
What's
and
up?
The fish bones are the ones that you just said, right?
Like the capillaries.
Yes, sir. The smaller ones take up the nutrient. Is that correct?
Yeah, more of the feeder roots. Yeah.
So it looks like a fish bone.
Yeah, more or less. I think you guys are talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. I understand what you're getting at. Okay. So what about putting I never see anybody put perlite straight into cocoa. Why is that?
I do.
Yeah,
I actually do.
I do.
With my flood and drain, unless I have it on a digital timer, that I could set for like specific watering times, like, in the less than 15-minute range, obviously, because, the manual timers are like usually 15-minute increments. I use like a half mix or something just to get a little extra air to the roots, but that's just me personally. I know people do straight. But.
Yeah, because I notice a lot of people have just straight brown surfaces. I don't see any little white dots in there. And as far as the perlite that you use, do you use perlite like Miracle Grow that has the grow nutrients in it and shit, time release shit, or do you go and get
right there?
Like,
Hell no.
Do you go and get a regular, like a plain, just like the little ones that are made out of like packaging?
Man, I use anything but Miracle Pro, bro. You can use the large or the small, just don't get Miracle. The question though,
okay, but I'm saying, does it have nutrients, or just do they go without nutrients? Because some of them have nutrients in them, bro. I'm just,
Yeah,
that way you don't buy the wrong ones.
You don't want that Miracle Grow nutrient in there for sure. I use a large chunky perlite, and the reason why I use it is because over a period of time, the large chunky perlite will break down, and I'll get larger root pockets in those areas.
And what's the brand do you buy, Captain?
Hell, I'd have to look at the back, but it's called large chunky perlite, and it's definitely not Miracle Grow.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, just grab some inert. Usually perlite's inert, so
there you go. That's the word I was looking for.
Doesn't fuck with your feeding regimen or whatever. So
cool.
Yeah, steer away from Miracle Grow products.
Awesome.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna interrupt because we just had the triple G, quadruple OG just jump in. OG himself. What's going on, Masha? How you doing, man? I lost everybody.
Whoa.
Didn't I? I lost everybody. Yeah, I know. I just lost everybody, it looks like. We got some please excuse me.
I came back. I'm just sitting here eating Chinese food. Sorry.
Purple is back.
Doge is back.
Sorry, Chad.
Yeah, we'll wait till Photon.
Shout out to the chat, man. What's going on?
Hey, yeah, look.
How y'all doing tonight, chat? What y'all blazing on?
There's almost 50 people.
Shit just kicked me out.
They
What's
kicked
everybody
everybody out,
smoking
dude.
on?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Everybody
Monster
roll
wasn't.
up.
I guess he got
Roll
kicked
up,
out.
roll up.
I'm smoking on the Ninja Fruit.
Put something in there, everybody.
Well, I'm not smoking anymore. I'm eating Chinese food, but you know how it is.
God, I had Chinese food the other day, and I knew when I was eating it, or not the other day, like earlier today. I knew when I was eating it, I was gonna regret it. And then the next like 4 hours, I just laid on the couch, stomach hurting. I was like, oh God, shouldn't have done
Chinese blast, MSG.
Gave you the shits, huh?
MSG, this
No, it didn't even give me
MSG,
the
the
shits. It
spice
just
of
made my
life.
fucking. I was super bloated and had a stomach ache.
Oh God. Cheers,
No,
everybody.
I was just like,
hey, we know the birthday boy smoking Malibu pie. And it must be pretty good because he done mentioned it like 6 times already. Malibu pie, Malibu. So we know Hoss Ferns is smoking on Malibu
Oh
pie.
man,
Right?
was that Mr. Monster? That's his birthday?
No, Hoss Farms. Hoss Farms. Today's his birthday. 59 years old, dude. He's still in the game, bro. I think that's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that
And
is
he's got
awesome.
Malibu pie. What a
Respect.
lucky dude.
Yep.
On that Malibu. Cherry
Happy
pie,
birthday.
man.
Happy birthday, sir.
I'm still that GG hopefully real soon.
Yeah, should I just
So
read
back
off
to
a few, man? Because there's some good ones.
Back
There's
to the
that lemon
Coco.
OG bubble, the cherry pie mix, the GT4,
Yeah.
orange crush.
As far as beneficial,
I'm doing that.
As far as beneficials,
I'm doing that sunset sherbet and peanut butter bread.
that's your next run,
is that what you-
Captain?
It's what I'm smoking on too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
smoking out some white Tahoe cookies over here.
I'm gonna need a cut of that, bud.
Bro, good luck, dog. Everybody's been trying to get cuts from Photon forever.
You'll get a light. You'll get a light first.
Yeah.
Get on the back. Get on the back of the list, Captain.
You just send me the back of the bus.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to get us some cuts, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm not supposed to give out, motherfucker.
Bruh.
His name is something else. His name is something else.
Yeah.
all the time since I smoke, man, I just burnt my damn eyelash. Turned the lighter the wrong way, dude, and burnt my damn eyelashes. That's some bullshit, right?
Classic.
So what kind of supplements do you guys use with Coco?
All right. I'll let them guys go first this time.
Let's see here. I'm all over the map. I'm one of like those growers called a tinker, and so I tinker like a son bitch. So
That's what I love, man. And you know how to mix that shit so nice because you know when you. That's why I like to ask you the questions too, because you're like diverse with your shit. You're like KNF and all kinds of shit just mixed
I like
together.
to get it all in there and see what it does, you know. So yeah, I definitely do KNF inserts. I do FPJs, FFPs, FFJs, labs, all kinds of other like mycorrhiza, fungi, bacteria, trichoderma, all that good stuff. But for the basic microbe ad, the best advice I could give is photosynthetic plus. It's a stinky ass bottle, but the results are amazing. So let's say you're using synthetics or organics, you'll get a full potential of the lineup of bacteria and fungi inside your plant that helps in every aspect of absorption of nutrients, absorption of light, absorption of CO2. It's a great product. So for anybody out there who's just starting off, photosynthetic plus is a great microbe. Another thing I really like for a humic acid is, or I should say a fulvic acid, is called full on. Full on will drive your nutrients into your plant faster by making it easier for your plant to absorb it. And you can also foliar with it so your plant can absorb light better as well. Full on will cut off towards the end of your flower cycle. You'll have a shorter flower cycle and a better product. Full on is a great product. I think you can get the smallest bottle for like $30. But if somebody's out there new starting, a humic acid, fulvic acid, a bacteria, fungi mix with your nutrient is a good way to start with those kinds of inputs.
Shit. And that's in cocoa, bro, right?
Yeah. Well, cocoa is similar to soil in that your biology can grow well. I think you can do it as similar in rock wool, but for some reason it does better in cocoa. I couldn't tell you exactly why, but you can get a great beneficial field of microbes in your cocoa.
Are you 100% cocoa?
I do the cocoa and large chunky perlite, so I do about 25% large chunky perlite, 75% cocoa.
Shit, see, because I mean, everybody I've been asking, they've been doing it in soil, and like kind of scared of the cocoa with with that many, I guess, microbes and all those just organisms.
It's definitely beneficial, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that, Legal? Because I know you do straight, you do your clean grow, and that ain't shit like FBJs and none of that.
No, I use a clean grow on basically my DWCs or my water culture. I started using them in my cocoa, but I didn't like that I had to add more feeding cocoa. I didn't like that I had to add more of the clean grow to get the concentration or to get what I wanted to get out of my plants. I had to up the nutrients, so I didn't like that. So I just used. I tell you this, what shit, man, with cocoa, I don't know, man. It's
like DC Farmer said, it's a clean canvas. You could fucking just start that whole off and begin it from
back to that, man. I mean, it's really. I'll just keep going back to that. I can do okay. So beneficial wise, I'm a firm believer in the kelp, the seaweed. I'm a firm believer. That's what worm castings. That's what I use. I mean, you can mix what you want to mix. I want to get into more into teas. I think me and Captain was talking about the boogie brew. I want to get more into that. And doing some of that type of stuff. But I'm a firm believer in worm castings and kelp. Those are my beneficials. I started with the Myco Madness, but then I use tap water, so I'm defeating the purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because the tap water is just going to eat up whatever, if I use that powder, the Myco Madness or the Great White or any of that stuff, my tap water it'll eat it up. So it's useless. It defeats the purpose. So yeah, man.
So, but if you have good tap water, like Mycos and Recharge and like Azos, does that work pretty much the same as it does in soil, or is that not a good idea for cocoa?
No, I say it works the same because think about it this way: when you have soil, most soils come with some type of beneficial organism, mold. It's got something in it,
Yeah.
There's dead larvae, where there's dead, it's just got something in it. With cocoa, it doesn't. Mice, gnats, all kinds of shit. But with cocoa, it doesn't. Cocoa comes blank, so you have to add that to it. So I would say for a new beginner, pyramid, but go lightly.
Okay.
Don't just go. Just don't go dumping shit in it if you ever. No, ease into it and then read like Monster used to always tell me, man. And I can't say it enough. Read your plants. Know how to read your plant. Captain will tell you, man. I came on the other day. I was like, Captain, what the hell, man? My plant has seen it do before. You know what I'm saying? So you got to read your plants, man. No matter, it doesn't matter where you grow, organic, rock wool, water, piss water. Like we had the one guy that said came on before, like to pee in his water. It don't matter what you're growing.
Yo, shout outs to Keith, bro. Shout outs to Keith. Fucking.
Right. Hey, he was a cool dude. He was a cool dude. So it doesn't matter what you do, what you learn how as a new. There's nothing I can stress anymore to a new grower. Learn how to read your plants. Learn how to. If you may not know what's going on with it, but you know something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, or you know something is, or that is liking something that you're doing. Read your plants. That's the best thing, best information I can give you guys. You know,
That's
pay
dope,
attention. You know, this,
me,
some of this shit we do it because we love it. But you know, if you just doing it because you want to say you grow this shit, then you ain't gonna have shit. You know what I'm saying? That's bottom line. You know, bottom line.
So what do you think about I was talking to DWC Kush and Loki. They do a lot of DWC, man, and we were talking about those inputs, and if you could get that clean enough to run it in like what's it called, or what is it, RWC, could you
DWC?
like, do FPJs and shit like that, or would it be too much sitting around in the water?
Well,
would it go bad and shit?
I would say that Loki and DWC would say, and again, I don't want to speak for them, but I know that they run their shit sterile, so they don't, you know, they try not to add shit into their shit. But like we were just talking, the homie Keith from back in the day, we had him on probably almost a year ago or some shit. He fucked around with organic hydroponics, and you can actually follow his page if you look up organic hydroponics on Facebook. You can get into the group; it's a private group. But yeah, so you know, and then I know Blunt Thumb would be an advocate of being experimental. You know, I know that I'm personally, you know, kind of content with just running my synthetics, and occasionally, I might add a tea or a little bit of some azos or some shit here and there. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would be interesting. I think it can be done. You know what I mean, in terms of having like a recirculating or just using hydroponics in general with organic supplements, like using biofilters or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah,
I use
over in Holland they use. Sorry about that, Buffalo. Go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, over in Holland they used organic biostimulants because they took away their right to use like certain fungicides, insecticides, and stuff like that. So they started messing around with things, and they found that by using organic biostimulants, the plant's health went through the roof. They used to have all kinds of problems with PM, and once they started using the biostimulants, they got rid of the PM 100%. So inputting of biostimulants can be a very good thing for hydro or DWC, but it's in ratios. So like Virginia Tech did a study on humic acid with seaweed extract, and they found the perfect ratio would be 5 parts humic acid, 2 parts seaweed extract, and that would benefit the plant by creating a larger root mass. So biostimulants definitely have a place in DWC now. Also, somebody who runs sterile, they get antsy when they see like film or stuff like that. So not everybody's into that. But if you are using DWC, you want to ease the water some kind of way because it's easier for those roots to get that nutrient. So I think they do. I think it's surfactant. Is that correct?
Yes, surfactant.
Surfactant. So like a yucca or like an SM90 or something like that, certain type of oil that makes the nutrient easier to absorb. So personally, I've run DWC, and I think biostimulants are key, but not everybody's into it.
That's what's up. I use Clean Grow's Water Max. So with using that Water Max, I can't. It'll eat whatever beneficial I put in my DWC.
Yeah, that's a sterilizer on steroids.
Yeah, that shit will eat whatever I put in it. That Water Max will eat it up. So I can't put anything in it. I mean, it's like, I don't know, man.
Is that the
good shit though?
Hypochlorous acid? Is that the ingredient?
I believe so. I believe that's what it is.
It's like a pool shock.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can get the pool shock number 3 apparently, and use that at a certain ratio and mix up yourself. But it's pretty good deal. Just for anyone out there wanting to fuck around with it, possibly. I wish I would have actually known about it prior, because I had a case of Pythium, a really bad case of Pythium this summer, and that could have helped save my crop. But I was just kind of slacked and didn't act when I should have. But yeah, I think the main ingredient in the pool shock is calcium hypochlorite or something. Which
that's correct.
Yeah, it's calcium hypochlorite. Yeah.
But an even better
I actually
one,
used to use that in my reservoir when I had an aero cleaner instead of.
Even better one you can use is the lithium, because
Okay.
as it breaks down, you get no residuals of calcium in your water.
Mm-hmm. Well, I figured the calcium might be good. Like I got to add CalMag anyways. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's just bro science thinking. You know.
No, yeah, a lot of that will turn into its ionic form, which I believe is perfectly uptakeable by plants.
Yes, it is absolutely.
Calcium ion. So yeah, I don't know about the lithium though. What about the lithium ions that may be floating around? Did those not get absorbed by the plant?
No,
Or,
and they dissipate
bro
so
science.
rapidly. Yeah, and they dissipate so rapidly that they're non-existent in the water within 1 hour.
Interesting. Cool.
I'm a pool guy too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I used to have a pool back in the day. That shit was a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Let me tell you, I take care of rich people's pools. It's a lot of work.
That's that flamethrower and Aquanet. That's a good one, Skunk. But all right, but it's okay. So let's go. What else we got on there, Dirty, that we were talking about? I think we covered just about everything. Nutrients, wind, water, hand, type of pot, prep of cocoa, growing in cocoa. I think we covered just about everything. But anybody in the chat, you guys have any questions? Or anybody else on the panel got anything else they want to talk about or ask about cocoa? Lose everybody?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. I just want to make sure. All right. So yeah,
peace out, north side.
On north side got to bounce?
I guess so. Have a good night, brother.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man. Have a good one.
I think Dirty.
Yeah, thanks, fellas.
Yeah, man.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta work early tomorrow, so.
All right. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for stopping through, brother, being on tonight, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't talk much, but I appreciate being here 100%. So.
Hell yeah. Much love. Hey, real quick, what were you drinking, real quick, bro?
Oh, tonight?
Yeah, some cats wanted to talk earlier. I was wondering myself.
What's that?
I was wondering myself what you're pouring up earlier.
Oh, but lately, I've just been on like these bourbon mules.
Bourbon mules?
Yeah, like a Moscow mule, but instead of vodka, bourbon.
You're a funny dude, bro. I love it. Hell yeah.
It's that straight donkey punch.
That's dope. Oh yeah, man. Have a good night, bro. Fucking enjoy your buzz.
All right, take it easy, fellas. Peace.
All right. I got a quick question. Not a quick question, but Captain, you said what was that ingredient that you told me to get that would help break down in my water?
Oh, you have an issue with hard water, and you filter your water, and you're still getting 200 ppms when you water. So in a DWC setup or Coco, it's good to use an amino acid that will chelate your calcium. So in your water, it's normally a calcium carbonate, and you want to chelate that with an amino acid. I think we talked about MPK Industries carried one. I use Athena Aminos from Nectar for the Gods. But you want to use an amino acid to make that calcium available so you can avoid lockouts.
Hell yeah. That's some good tip there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely get that. I think I can get it from the same people I got my calcium nitrate from. I think I can get it from them. And also, I wanted to somebody had brought up earlier that they were using Jack's 3, and they were using the formula under 3-2-1, right? I use so the formula is you use 3 grams per gallon of water for the jacks, per 2 grams per gallon of water for the calcium nitrate, which Jack sells, or you can find it at anywhere else. And then there was 1 gram of magnesium, which is or Epsom salt. So I was thinking of switching from my Epsom salt and then finding, because I use Epsom salt right now, but I was thinking of where I got my calcium nitrate from was just getting the agricultural magnesium, and doing that. So, for you new growers out there.
In what form?
Huh?
In what form?
You say what for? Well, because it's or get the agricultural Epsom salt, instead of, because I just got regular Epsom salt. Went to the Family Dollar.
It's the same.
Bought a box of Epsom salt.
Yeah, exactly.
My mind frame, and see, this is why it's glad, like Daniel brought up, we're talking to new growers and stuff. My mind's thinking if it says agricultural, bio, or I'm thinking that, okay, well, this is made for not just go and use, but you're saying it's basically the same shit.
It's the same shit. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, no matter what it says in the packaging.
Agricultural or not. So they fooling people then, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, that's the big thing I would think is, at least with me, I look at what is the ingredients, at least if they're listed anyway. What chemicals are in whatever you're using.
Yeah.
And that's
like the calcium hydrochloride for the, that's what clear res is calcium hypochlorite. And they sell that for, I don't know how much a bottle, but you can go buy a bag of it at the spa store for your hot tub, and you can get 3,000 gallons worth of it for $15 or something like that,
Right.
It's even less than that. It's like $8 for 30,000 gallons.
Yeah, it's less than that, yeah. Where clear res is I don't know, $15-$30 a bottle, depending on the size.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. If you can look at the ingredients and what concentrations they're in, then you can compare products and prices.
All right. So that's good to know. That's what I was wondering too. I was like, okay. But anybody else in the chat have anything else for them? And I'd like to thank everybody, man. Give a great big shout out to the chat, man. You guys are holding it down.
And I think we hit 50 at one point.
Oh, looks like we got West Michigan still up in there holding it down for us in the chat.
Yeah, this has been a good conversation. It's been a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been really good. Really good. Pleased with it.
Agreed.
Looks like everybody else dropped out. Well, yeah, man. So, I'm not concerns, but anybody got any plans coming up? Other than you got any big plans you plan? I know Photon's always got plans.
Yeah, I always got plans. I got a few light fixtures I'm coming out with. I'm working on the UL and DLC listings for those. Then I'm redoing my garden to run rock wool, so maybe that could be a topic for next week because I don't know much about it. I run soil right now with a heavy perlite mix, so it's basically Coco almost. I'm actually redoing shelving right now and kind of fixing up, ready to start a new round. Kind of just tore everything down and restarted.
Okay.
As far as the garden goes. And then, as far as the business goes, I got a lot of business to take care of.
That's what's up, man.
Yep.
Yeah, going to Emerald Cup. So that'll be fun.
Going to the Emerald Cup. Whoever's on this panel, I got a place to stay, so.
Yeah, can I stay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trichomechasers at the Emerald Cup. That's gonna be lit, man.
Is that Northern California?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Santa Rosa, isn't it?
And I'm actually probably driving down so I can bring some demo lights and have a bunch of business to take care of in like Central Oregon. So I'm probably driving down a U-Haul van or something. So if anybody between here and Santa Rosa needs a ride, I can facilitate that.
Bring a sleeping bag and getting back.
Honestly, those U-Haul vans are enormous. Yeah. I would not mind sleeping in one of those for a few days.
I want to do a couple shout outs out there. I want to do Bay Bread Genetics. They're an up and coming company. They're going to be popping out here soon. I think eventually we're going to be doing a grow off of his Berry Storm. I'm excited about that. And also I want to shout out the Treetop Genetics. They're on the move. They have amazing genetics for our lineup. And yeah, I just want to give those guys a shout out. And then I just want to say thanks for letting me be on the panel, guys. And it was a good conversation.
Oh, no doubt.
Fuck yeah.
Somebody said there was a question above. Maybe we missed the question real quick. I don't see it. I've been trying to look. Oh, anyone know if you can use anything on windows so they don't sweat? Look outside my home and notice only one window. With the MIDI, I like being in Alaska, and I'm the only one without snow. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Insulation.
Yeah, insulation, I guess, man.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Rain-X, yeah. Hey, you got some turtle wax that you can put on your car, put that on your window, bro. I mean,
you could just put some like I don't want to mess up your house, but put like 2x4s all the way around the window, so your window is actually isolated from your room, and then that should maybe put some insulation on top of that even.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it gets
that's a
like
tough one.
minus up there, dude. So like if your house you have a 78-degree temperature inside and it's minus 40 outside, you're gonna have to
get some
insulate
condensation.
the shit out of that.
Yeah, there in the summer when you're trying to thaw that out.
Yeah, well, I have a buddy who lives up in Fairbanks, and we put 2 feet of insulation on his roof rafters, and that neutralized his problem. But we also added another 2 feet on his ceiling, and that made it. Yeah, but I mean it's minus 40 sometimes, and if you got 80 degrees in your house, I mean it's gonna melt pretty quick underneath there. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool.
So you just have to. Yeah, you gotta invest in insulation.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually lucky where I'm at. I have a double thick sheetrock, so all my sheetrock's doubled up, and then I have lots of insulation, and then triple pane windows, so I have a pretty good deal going on there.
Nice. Yeah, I need to insulate my house more. Shit's so fucked.
Yeah. I actually just found a room, like not a room, but like I was fucking around in my attic and I found like this empty space. It's like I could fit a 4x4 tent in there, no problem. And it's like I don't know why this space wasn't used in the original architecture of the house, but I'm definitely gonna probably for a drying area.
Yo.
Fellas, I think we're gonna go ahead and end the show today. It was very nice, and like I said, thanks for everybody that's still left in the chat. You know, thanks for the panel for sticking around. Appreciate it. You know, I think it was a good topic. I think we covered just about, everything you can with Coco. I'm pretty sure there might be something else, but I think we did. I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah, we did really good. It was a good show. Thanks for the chat for coming out. Sorry I wasn't in the chat.
Yep. So just
we
like
had,
Perp said earlier, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, WMI girl held it down too. I just want to let her know that.
Right. And then there's some, oh, don't forget our website, www.trichomechasers.tv.
Good call. Good call.
Site. And then Treetop Genetics.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Oregon Budman. May we never have to cross paths.
I'll second that one.
Yeah, well, I'd actually like to run into that dude and do a dab with him too, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
You just don't rub him the wrong way, else he's gonna crucify you.
Yeah, may we never rub you the wrong way.
Shout out to Palm Side Extract. Like I said, man, that brother be holding it down for us, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's a brother. He's a man.
Yeah. So straight up, real talk.
All right, boys.
All right, so we're gonna get out of here. It was fun. Stay blessed, stay medicated, fellas.
Yep.
Chat and the panel.
Stay high, stay happy.
Trichomechasers Grow Life Stream, episode 49. And you guys have a nice day.
Yeah.